Hey everyone, welcome back to the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel. My name is Lauren and I'm a craft producer here at Makers Gonna Learn, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to sublimate using a free software called Canva. If you are new to our channel, make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification so that you can get notified every time we get crafty. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the project. Now, before we jump into Canva and we talk all things Canva, let's go over the supplies super fast and what you're going to need to complete today's project. Today, we're going to be sublimating a satin pillowcase. This is the brand that we are using. It is linked down below. You can find this on Amazon. It comes in a 2-pack. We love these pillowcases. You can also find satin pillowcases at Walmart and places like that, but this is the brand that we are using today. So you're going to need your blank or your satin pillowcase. We are going to be using sublimation paper. Our favorite is A-Sub sublimation paper, but today we are using the Koala brand, which also has been great. We do really like it. Next up, you're going to need some heat-resistant tape. This is just to tape down your sublimation design. We do also have butcher's paper. This is going to be a necessity. If you are sublimating at all, you're going to need to have a good roll of butcher's paper. And then last but not least, you are going to need your sublimation printer and a heat press. Now, it doesn't matter what type of sublimation printer you have. Today, we're using the Epson ET8550. This is a large format printer that we have converted to a sublimation printer, but you use what sublimation printer you have on hand. If you don't have a sublimation printer, but you want to jump into the sublimation world, we do have a course called Makers Gonna Sublimate that you can get in on even if you don't have any supplies, but you know that you want to get started with sublimation. I truly feel like it is the best way to start is by going ahead and purchasing the course. That way we can walk you through the different printers, how to set them up, and you can really make an educated decision then on which printer is going to work best for you and your house and your lifestyle. We also walk you through different color profiles, how to set up those color profiles, and how to perfect those color profiles depending on what printer and ink you have. Now let's go ahead and hop over into Canva. First up, I want to talk about what Canva is. So Canva is a free design software that you can use. It is internet and cloud-based, and you can download your own images into Canva and use them. So if you are a Makers Gonna Learn member, you can use Makers Gonna Learn images in Canva to sublimate. Now, there is a paid version of Canva that gives you a lot more access to different features in this software, but today we are just going to be showing you the basics of Canva and what you need to do to get started sublimating using this software. So once you have created your account, the next thing that you need to do is you need to go up here to the top right-hand corner and you're going to select Create a Design. Now, the first thing that I really want you all to be aware of is creating your size. And this is where I feel like a lot of people get tripped up. What you need to do is you need to come down here to the bottom once you have clicked Create a Design, and we want to select Custom Size. Now, the reason that this is important is because we want to create the custom size as the size of paper we are going to be printing on. So if you are printing on 8.5 by 11, then you're going to want to change this to inches and then type in 8.5 by 11. Now, if you want your design to be printed horizontally, I would go ahead and type in 11 by 8.5, just switching those numbers. That's going to make your design horizontal. Today, we are going to be creating a design and we're going to be printing on 13 by 19 with our Canon ET8550 printer. So what I'm going to do, I have changed our dimensions to inches. I'm going to type in 19 because I do want to print it horizontally, and then I'm going to type in the height as 13. Like I said, it is very important from the beginning that we put our width and height in inches of the size of paper that we are going to be printing on. That way, once we size our design, we know that it is going to print the exact size that we have made it. Once you have put in the size of your paper, you are then going to select Create New Design. Now we are ready to start designing our sublimation print. To start out with, I want to bring in my designs from the Makers Gonna Learn website. So I'm going to hop over to Makers Gonna Learn. I'm going to go to the cut files, and for this specific design, I want to use rainbows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search rainbows here, and then find the exact one or multiple ones that I want. I want to go with this rainbow banner, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the arrow pointing down, and I'm going to download that file. It's going to come in as a zip file, but I'm going to double click that and make sure that that opens up. From there, I'm going to go back to Canva. Over here on the left-hand side, you can see the cloud with this arrow pointing up. You're going to click Uploads, and here you can upload your own image. Now, my favorite way to do this is going to my Finder and see, here is the image that I want. I'm going to click that, drag it, and I can drop it into Canva. Now, all I have to do is select that, and it is going to add it to our canvas. So I want to use this as a border on the top and the bottom of the name that I'm going to be putting in. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to duplicate, and there's a couple different ways you can duplicate. There is this little sign here at the very top of your image that you can select that's duplicate, but you can also hit Command D and it will duplicate it as well. So we are bringing this in. Now, one thing I do also want you all to be aware of is a lot of images will come in with a white background. Currently, it looks like there is not one. However, there may be instances where you want to remove the background. So remember in the first of the video, I talked about how there is a paid version of Canva, and this is one instance where you may want to upgrade to the Pro version because of this next feature that I want to show you. So if I change the background of our full page, let's say to this color, you can see that there is a white block around our rainbows. If you want to remove that, you do have to have Canva Pro, but what you would do is select your image, go to Edit Photos, and then Canva has a background remover for you. So you can do that, just know that it is a Pro feature. Now, for this specific design, I'm going to change our background back to white. You can see these two images, neither one of them look any different. We just know that this one has the background removed. So if you do not want to or don't have to remove the background of an image, you do not have to have Canva Pro. I just wanted you all to be aware that that feature is available and you can do that. Now, the next step that I want to do in designing this pillowcase is put in our text. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the left-hand side and we're going to select text, and we're going to add a text box. Now, Canva has a lot of great fonts that you can use, but just in case you didn't know, if you do decide to upgrade to Canva Pro, you can upload your own fonts to Canva and use them in any design that you want. So for today, we're actually going to be using a Maker's Gonna Learn font called Daisy Patch, and I'm going to show you guys how you can download a font in Canva if you do have Canva Pro and if you want to. If you want to download your very own fonts, I'm going to show you exactly how, and we're going to choose a Maker's Gonna Learn font. So I'm going to come over here back to our Maker's Gonna Learn website, select fonts, and then from there I'm going to type in what font I want, which today is Daisy Patch. I'm going to click the arrow pointing down to download that font. From there, I'm going to make sure that I double click and unzip our font, and then I'm going to go back to Canva. And then with our font selected, we're going to come with the drop-down menu to choose what font you want. You're going to select Upload a Font, and then you can search for your fonts, select and open and upload it into Canva. Now you can see here that we now have the Daisy Patch font in our Canva, and we can select that and use our very own fonts. Once again, this is a Pro feature, but just for those that if you do just want to use free, just know that there are lots of good fonts on the Canva website, and you can actually tell which ones are Pro fonts and which ones are not based on the crown on the side. If it has a crown, that means it is a Canva Pro font. If it does not, then that means that is a free font that you can use within the Canva software. So now that we have our font selected, I'm going to type in the name. And then we are going to resize it to fit within our little rainbow borders. And I'm going to move this up. Now what I want to do is I'm going to select my name and I want to change the color. So I'm going to come up here to the text color, and the cool thing with Canva, what I'm obsessed with, is it will actually pull out the colors of the photos that you have uploaded so you can get an exact match and not have to worry about using hex codes or a color picker. So that is one of my favorite features with Canva, is it will pull out the colors of the photos that you've already selected. So I really like this burnt orange color for this design, so I'm going to choose that. And I still want to do one more step, and this is a free feature that you all can use, is I'm going to select my text and I'm going to come up here to effects. Here you can see that Canva has so many effects that you can use, and you can really customize these effects to make it your own. So starting out with none, or you can do a drop shadow, which is very cute. You can change the offset, how far the drop shadow is, the direction that the drop shadow goes. You can blur it or not, and you can bump up or down the transparency and also change the color. So there's lots of different things you can do with the drop shadow. You also have what they call the lift. So you can, it's kind of like, gives it a shadow effect. This is one that I don't use a lot, but I still like it. Next, you have your Hol Design, super cute. You can change the thickness of the lines, make it thin or thick. Now the splice is one of my favorites. I think this is just a super cute way to add a little bit of extra something to your design. You can change the thickness of the lines on the text. You can change the direction of the offset to fit it in or down. You can change the direction, much like your drop shadow effect. So there are so many things that you can do with the splice design. Next up, you have outline. You can change the color of your outline to something that matches. You can change the thickness, make it really large or really small. This is going to kind of give you the effect of offset. If you are familiar with Cricut Design Space, this is going to be very similar to the offset, and you can make it as thick or as small as you want. So if that is something that you are looking for, or the style, outline is the way to go. Next is echo, and that's going to give you the really kind of a retro feel, like a multi-stacked drop shadow. Same thing with that. You can change how far or how close that is. You can change the direction, and you can change the color of that echo. Next up is glitch. That's going to give you like that kind of 3D effect. You can change the colors as well. This is really cool with certain designs. It doesn't necessarily fit this one, but I still really like it. And then finally, you have the neon effect. This one is also super cute. I have done this with sublimation designs on tumblers. It looks great if you have like a background, like a really light colored background, to do like this neon effect. You can even bring it up to where the insides of the letters are kind of white and transparent, and you just get the outline. There are so many things you can do with this neon effect. I love it. Once again, it's just not fitting this style, but it is there for you to use. Another thing you can do with your text is you can keep them straight or you can curve. Now, once again, you can come in here and change the curve if you want it curved up, curved down, a slight curve, a big curve. You can do that in Canva. Now, the design that we're gonna go with, I'm going with the splice. I just think it fits this. I love the way that it looks. So we are gonna go with the splice for the effects today. And now we are almost done with our design for our satin pillowcase. The next thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that our design is sized to fit on our pillowcase right. So next thing you want to do is you want to size the area of the blank that you are going to be placing the design on. We know that the pillowcase, that we're working with 13 by 19 paper. The pillowcase is 26 inches in length. So we know that it's going to be good, but you also have to keep in mind how large your press is. So the press that we have does kind of limit us because we're working with a 15 by 15 press. So you do not want to have a design that is larger than your press because you don't want to have to press it twice and take a chance of ghosting and everything. So in reality, we're going to be working with 15 inches, and that's where we're going to stay. So we're going to go back to Canva. We're going to select all 3 images and we're going to group them together, and then we're going to size them down so that they will fit within our 15 by 15 press. Now, once you've grouped, you can go back and ungroup because I do think I want to move our rainbows up a little bit just so we have a little more room on the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to, using my keyboard, I'm going to move them up and down. I know that they are in line, and then I'm just going to come back through and see what height we have now. So we're at 8.5 in height, so we'll go back overhead and measure, and I think that will be a good height. It'll be 15 by 8.5. I think that will look really good on this pillowcase. Now, one thing that I do want to make sure you all know and understand is in Canva, you can flip your image. So if it is an image that you have uploaded, for example, these rainbows were all one singular image that we uploaded. If you select that, you can come up here and flip them horizontally by yourself. But one thing you cannot do is with the text, you cannot flip or mirror your text. If you know sublimation and you have sublimated, you know that you have to mirror your image. So there are a couple ways that you can do this. The first way that you can do this is you can download your design, re-upload it into Canva, and then flip the whole thing manually, or you can flip it in your printer settings. So I will show you how to do both. First thing, you're going to want to hit share, and we are going to download this. We are downloading it as a PNG, and we are going to select download. Once it has downloaded, you can see here it is in our downloads. I'm actually going to create a new, we'll add a page, and I'll show you exactly what to do. We're going to go to uploads, back to our Finder, and here is the design that we downloaded. I'm going to drag and drop it here into Canva, and you can see now we can place it here. The only problem is it comes in and you can see it's going to be hard for us to really get the size. So what you want to do is trim it down as much as you can, as close to your image, and we can even zoom in here. And we're just going to bump that up right up against our rainbows, and then we'll come over here to the side, do the same thing here and here, and then we'll zoom back out. And now you can see we have the option to flip our image horizontally or mirror our image. And now we can size it back up to the 15 inches that we wanted to, that would fit in our press. So now we're at 15 inches in height. So if that is the route that you want to go, that is great. If you want to mirror your image from your printer settings, what we're going to do, and I'm going to zoom back out, I'm going to delete this page out, go back to our original design, and from there, what we're going to do, same thing, we're going to go to share, we're going to download our image as a PNG, we're going to select download, we're going to open it up, and now we're going to hit print. From there, we're going to select our 8500 series. Once you have selected your printer, what we're going to do is I'm going to go to print settings, and here you can see you can either turn mirror on or turn mirror off. We just want to make sure that mirror image is turned on. From there, you're going to print your image from your sublimation printer using the correct color profiles based on your printer and ink selection. And next, we are going to teach you how to press your image. While that is printing, I will go ahead and tell you our settings on our heat press. We have our heat press set at 385, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some butcher's paper and go ahead and place it inside of my pillowcase, and I'm going to press it to get all of the wrinkles out while this is printing, and then once it is printed we will go ahead and press. Now the reason that I'm placing the butcher's paper inside the satin pillowcase is I just want to make sure that we don't get anything that bleeds from the front to the back. So we are just going to give it a, make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm going to bring it over here to our press. I'm going to grab another sheet of butcher's paper. Place it over the top, and then just give this a good press so that we can get those wrinkles out. Once your design is printed, you're going to cut off the excess if you want to. Another thing that you can do that helps not leave harsh lines on your sublimation design, and this is very important with fabrics like this and with neoprene, if you are working with neoprene, is tearing your edges. And that's going to give it more of a soft, like feathered look. So when you go to press, the press is not going to have very harsh lines and leave those harsh lines on your blank. So we're just tearing our edges here so that we can ensure we do not have those harsh lines on our pillowcase. And then once we have done that, we're going to flip our design over, and we are going to tape it down with our heat resistant tape. Once you have your design taped down, we're then going to bring it over to our press here. And you really want to make sure that your design fits within your press. And this is where I like to kind of roll my edges and make sure that that design is where it needs to be on our plate. Once you have your design placed on your heat press, we're then going to cover it with butcher's paper, and we are pressing at 385 degrees for 60 seconds. Once we have finished pressing, we're going to bring it over here, and we are going to peel to reveal our design. How cute! How cute this turned out. Now, I hope that this video has really helped you overcome your fear of thinking that Canva is something that you can't conquer, because I promise you, you can. It is such a great software, especially to use if you are sublimating. We love using Canva here, and I hope that you have learned how you can use Canva when it comes to sublimating. Once again, if you want to learn the correct color profiles and everything that we use, we do have that within our sublimation course. You can click the first link down below and jump in on that. In that course, we are going to walk with you hand in hand from the very beginning to choosing which sublimation printer you want, all the way through becoming a sublimation pro. And not only that, but with this course, you get 500 sublimation files ready for you to use as soon as you purchase. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Once again, if you have not, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification so that you can get notified every time we get crafty. I'll see you guys in the next one.